Hey guys, this is Miss Cat, and today we're going to be talking about how to create a pause menu. There's a few different ways that we can accomplish a pause menu. I'm just going to do a very basic button in the top corner of my game. Another way is, to have it press a key. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started on that. So I'm going to hit Canvas. I want to create. The first thing I'm going to create is a button. So by creating a button, there we go. By creating a button, it's right in the middle here. If I click F on my screen, I can see it a little bit better over here. So I'm just create a button. I'm going to play around with the width and height of my button. I'm just going to make it a 30 by 30, maybe a 40 by 40. So it's a little bit bigger. But I can play around with the size of my button. I'll throw it over here. It's just going to hang out in the corner. It's a little crowded up here. I can turn some of these off if I really wanted to. But yeah, so I've got my button over here, and inside of a button, the first thing I want you to realize is there's text. So if you don't want text, you can automatically just turn it off or delete it. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. I'm going to put two little lines in there to create a little pause button feel to it. It's not anything amazing. As you can see, as we get closer, it looks like a pause button. I know this is looking a little crowded. It's just because I'm making a lot of videos and throwing these up for you. Eventually, I'll kind of clean it up and get it to how I want it to look. But this is just, quick, easy videos. This already has our health, our pickup, and our countdown. I've already turned off the timer though, but we have our countdown right here. So I'm going to make a button, and I'm going to call this pause, if I can spell, pause button. So our pause button. And so in a pause button, I want you to see that on click, it wants something to happen. So right now, when I don't have anything clicked, nothing's going to happen. There's nothing new, anything like that. And so under Canvas, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. I'm going to hit Create UI, and I want to make a panel. So a panel is going to fit this whole screen. It's going to kind of look like it's whited out. You can change this color to basically whatever you want it to be. If you want to go red, green, something to know that it's paused. I'm just going to go a little bit gray. Maybe a little bit, pinky or something like that. Something fun, something crazy. It's okay. So maybe something blue. That kind of works. So I'm going to have a panel in here. In all of our pause menu, I'm going to fit within our panel. So I'm going to say pause menu. And the reason I'm using a whole pause menu is because I don't necessarily want to be able to touch anything behind it. So the pause menu kind of blocks that, but also, or this panel kind of blocks it, but also it gives you a good understanding that the game, like something has happened, a menu has popped up, because as I turn this on and off, you can really tell the difference to where you feel like, oh, okay, something has happened. It's paused. And within here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click on the pause menu, not on Canvas this time, but on the pause menu. I'm going to UI. I'm going to create a button. And I'm just going to say this button is reload, which I'm going to make this button reload my game level. Actually, instead of doing that, because that creates a little bit more stuff than what we have at the moment, we're just going to do a very basic one. I'm just going to hit instead do unpause. So unpause. So in here, I'm going to type in unpause. In a pause menu, buttons are really the only thing that's going to be in there, besides if you make an image. Most things in here are like text, like I can make some text, put it up here, and actually say this is pause menu. And once again, these are all children of my pause button, right? So everything needs to fall under, or as my pause menu, it all needs to fall under my pause menu. So I'm going to take this text really quick, call it pause menu. I'm going to turn up my size to like 50 to where I can see it. And I'm going to mess with my bounding boxes to where I can really get a good look at it. I'm going to move it over. So pause menu. So now we know the game is paused. This is our pause menu. All right. So it's kind of set up. We have our unpause button right here. That isn't, once again, it's a button. It's not connected to anything though. I'm not super worried about it. And we've got our little pause up there. So the first thing we're going to do besides do that is I'm going to go into my scripts. I'm going to create a C# script, and I'm going to call this pause menu. So a regular menu and a pause menu are very similar. The difference between the pause menu and a regular menu is that when usually you have a pause menu, you are stopping the game. Some, slow down the game instead of completely stopping it, but with our pause menu, we really want to stop the game and have all of our menu options, which eventually we'll put in like reload or main menu as options in here. Right now we just have unpause because that's all I really want to get into in this video. This is more about how to set up the menu then what else can I do in here? And so on this unpause, if I wanted, I could duplicate it and create multiple buttons that do nothing at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my pause menu. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new Boolean. So I need a true or false statement to know whether or not my game is paused. I'm going to do public bool game is paused equal to false. So to start off, my game shouldn't be paused, right? So I want to start this off with a false. And then under update, or actually I don't even need anything under update. Next thing we're going to do is we're just going to create two new statements. So void, I call this unpause. And then void pause. Oh. Sometimes it likes to be weird about it. So I just want to make sure that I get it to how I want. So void pause. And so once again, I don't really need anything under update. One option you could do is if you wanted to press a key like we do when we move, like escape, to have it resume or to have it pause or unpause, you can do that. I'm just going to use my buttons today. So under here, I'm going to say pause. Oh, actually, we need to make these public. So go ahead and put public before your void statements. And so what public says is that I'm able to access this, little void statement or whatever when I'm actually in here. So when I go to my buttons, when it says, I have to create or I have to choose some type of variable or something to happen, this is where I'm going to choose to do that. And I'll go into that a little bit more. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here. So for unpause, I'm going to say oh, I forgot to add in this using, nope, I don't even need that. Never mind. I need to go over here and I need to do a public, I can't believe I forgot this, public game object. I'm just going to call this pause menu. So I need to create a game object. And so what this game object is this is going to allow me to turn my pause menu on and off. So I'm going to go down here to pause menu dot set active. I'm going to set this to false. So when my game is unpaused, it should be set to false. And then I'm also going to say that my time scale time.timescale is equal to 1 f. And so what this says is that my time is running as it should be, times 1, which basically means it's running, normal. So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 2, all that good stuff. And then I'm going to make sure my game is paused is equal to false. So this lets me know what that variable is and all that. So this is for unpause. So I'm going to just press Command C. I'm going to go down here and press Command V, or if you're on a Mac, Control. But I'm just going to copy paste. And I'm going to now say if my game is paused, I want to set my menu to active. So I'm going to hit true. And so what this does is, how when I come in here and I can unclick and click this is whether or not it's active. So it'll start off inactive. And that's what we want. But yeah, so if I come back in here, I'm going to set my time scale to 0, which means that 0 seconds are passing, nothing is happening while my game is paused. If my player is in midair, he's not falling. And then I'm going to set my game pause to true. All right, so when I hit Command S, that's going to set it to true. And this is kind of going to teach you guys how to use buttons. Buttons are fairly simple. It's just, make a statement or a function, make a function, and then, have it do something. So I'm going to go ahead and just attach my pause menu onto my canvas. Give it a second. Let's see if it did it. Nope. Let's try again. Pause menu attached. There we go. So I've attached my pause menu over here. Next thing I want to do is I want to actually grab the menu itself, my little panel I created, and make sure that's on here. Now I'm going to go to my button. I'm going to go to my pause button up here. I'm going to go to on click, list is empty. I'm going to do add. I need to select an object. And so since I put my script on my canvas a second ago, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click, drag my canvas in there. And then when it looks for a function, I'm going to go to paused game. As you can see, now I have pause, right? So I've got pause right there. So when I click this, I want my game to pause. So that works. And then under unpause, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add and go to countdown, or not countdown, sorry. Grab the totally wrong thing. Unpause, grab my canvas. That's what I wanted. Go to function, pause menu, and I'm going to go to unpause because this is my unpause and that's my pause button. So now when I play my game, let's make sure everything works accordingly. I can go ahead, I can jump, we can see my slider going down, which is really going to be a good indicator for this. I'm going to hit pause. And so as you can see, my slider is stopped moving, the game is stopped, I've got the screen going, I've got my text that says pause menu. You can also, put as many things as you want under here, like an image or something else to make it, look a little bit more coherent and whatnot. But this is just really basic. And so it is paused. I can't, like I said before, I can't click on this pause button again because of this panel. And that's kind of what I want because I don't want people to just be going back and forth hitting this pause button. But under my pause menu, I have my unpause button that I've attached some stuff to under my on click. So if I go ahead and I click this, my game should unpause. All right, and I can just keep doing this back and forth. Pause, unpause, pause, unpause. But really, it's pretty simple. Next time, I'll talk about how to actually, make a regular menu, or maybe not next time, but in the future, I will show you guys how to make a regular menu. It's basically the same thing as this. You just don't have to do the pausing and unpausing of it. It's pretty simple. So have a good rest of your day, whatever time it is, and I will see you guys in class later. All right.